Alright, more anime that I have finished. This one's actually a more recent show, believe it or not. ReZero, Season 2, Part 2, or is this Season 3? I don't know. I think it's Season 2, Part 2, right? Overall, pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. I don't have anything else to say. The season's essentially about all the different characters kind of discovering themselves, right? Subaru kind of comes face to face with his past. Amelia comes face to face with his past. Roswaal, Ram, Garfield, they all have to face their past, essentially, and kind of realize that the past is holding them back, right? But it's also, it's about confronting your past and like not being beholden to what happened in the past, and instead realizing what you have now. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry, like, oh, I said this, or I said that, or I did this, or someone told me this would happen. Instead, focusing on, like, the here and now, which is what all the characters had to do, essentially. A bit ironic, considering the show is called... Well, not ironic. Considering the show is called ReZero makes sense, because all these characters are now essentially starting over again. Amelia, no longer content to let other people, help her. She's not gonna sit there and let someone else kind of do her thing. She's gonna want to be a more active person in her life. She's not gonna be afraid like that. Roswaal is not gonna just kind of go along with the plan. He's, rediscovering kind of the way he used to be. Right? Because he's just essentially stolen the body of his children for 400 years or something. Kind of dark. I think they kind of glossed over that. Or he was creating clones of himself. I don't know. Ram. Kind of confronting her feelings of love for the person who ruined her life, I guess. I don't know. And Garfield, getting over all his trauma, which in the end doesn't seem like that. His trauma didn't seem like that that big of a deal. But I guess he's like 14. Can you believe that? Oh man. But yeah, it makes sense that all these guys are kind of starting over. Beatrice too. That they're all kind of starting over, but it's ironic because Subaru, of all people, isn't gonna is gonna try not to die. Like, his main thing of starting over from zero, restarting, he's like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. Or I'm gonna try not to, right? Because if he dies, it still resets or something like that. I think. I don't know. That's one thing I gotta say is I get confused watching this show for some reason. Most shows I'm able to follow along with, but because he declined Echidna's gift, right? But he still, well, because he made the bet with he made the bet with Roswaal, right? That in this life, I'm not gonna use it or something, but so in the future he's gonna still use his ReZero ability, or he's gonna try not to use it. I don't know. I don't know. It was also good seeing the backgrounds of all the characters. Getting a lot of history. That was nice. It let you see all those. So I guess it let you see you saw the witches, obviously, which was interesting. A lot different than I expected them to be. And then you see, I guess there's like the witches. Each witch has a domain, right, of a domain of one of the sins, and then there's these archbishops or something. I mean, I know Beetlejuice or whatever is an archbishop, but like there's the authorities of different things. So like Beetlejuice was sloth, right? And he gains hands so that he doesn't, sloth is failing to do something, so essentially the hands allow him to never have to lift his own finger, and simultaneously assure that things are within his grasp. Was it Pride? Right? Pride, he was fucking cool. Pride, who essentially seems impervious to anything, impervious and super strong. Essentially nothing, he doesn't allow anything to, impose upon his will or agency. So anything that he doesn't allow to happen essentially doesn't happen. Which is cool. Then there's like the little girl, I don't remember what she was, but essentially anything that she says becomes the truth. Which was great when she told that dude, like, hey, remember how you're back in your mansion? And that dude looked like he was gonna fucking kill her. Cause that's like the biggest, I guess that's like the fucking worst thing that you could do to that guy is force him to do something. And she did. She forced him back to the hotel, or his mansion, because he disappeared. Also, I guess she's immortal, because as long as she never wants to die, she never will die. So yeah, that was a really cool whole Amelia background. It wasn't even her history. It was the history of all these other fucking characters, which are way more interesting than her. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. I mean, you could go on endlessly about it. Looking forward to the next season. I kind of want to read the light novels. I just don't have the time to read all the fucking light novels that I want to read. And watch all the anime and play all the games. I'd say it's not even a bad thing, but the only like bad thing is essentially I feel like they were in the sanctuary for a long time. I kind of see why. I kind of wish it wasn't so long. But there's like a lot of plot threads. There's a lot of plot threads, a lot of characters, a lot of background stuff that's happening, like the whole end of the world and the witch cults and all of those, the witches and the authorities and all that stuff. That's all happening like behind the scenes, and you don't even know anything about it right now. And I'm assuming we'll find out. I honestly forgot about the whole. Amelia wants to become like the queen or something like that, the ruler of the world of the country. Until like the end where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go do this again. Because there's all the other there's like so much going on. There's so many plot threads and so many characters, and they've all kind of fallen by the wayside. And I'm just thinking like, when are we gonna get back to them? Like, there's there's like 5 people in the selection process, and you have Krush, right? I like her. She's fucking awesome. She doesn't have a memory anymore, so she's probably out. she's probably out. You have, there's like the trade princess, like the Russian one. I think she had shit going on. Then there's like the rich girl with the, like the masked guard guy. She was like, lick my feet. Remember her? I would have licked her feet. I don't give a shit. Like, she was acting like, oh, you're falling. You know, you that's not respectable. It's like, hey, bitch, don't fucking judge. Don't judge. You know, what if someone like wanted to do that? Like, what if to them that wasn't, you know, lowering themselves? That was like the ultimate goal. You know. I think I read something that he's supposed to be an isekai character too. That he's also from Japan, and apparently they just straight cut that right out of the anime. So I don't know. There's like, and then like the fucking the thief girl. I don't even remember her name. With Reinhard, right? The swordsman. They're apparently in the selection too, and fucking where did they come from? Where are they going? What's happening with them? Essentially, there's just so much that is just up in the air, and I'm just curious where they're going to go with it. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just like there's a lot going on. There's a lot to keep track of, and I'm probably going to forget most of it by the time the next season comes out. So, I don't know. Oh, I guess overall rating, right? I gotta rate it. 8 out of 10. It's pretty good, but like I said, I think there's a lot happening, and I just feel like the pacing. It's so hard. I don't know, man. I'm saying 8 because I just feel like the story itself dragged on a little bit in the first part of the second season, because the second part of the season it was just like there wasn't a lot of downtime. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I just feel like something with the pacing. I just feel like the story. Like, I don't know. I'm enthralled. I'm engaged with it. And every episode was like 30 minutes, and a lot of them didn't even have credits. So like consistently very long episodes, and it's like. So that's like an extra like episode or two that they added into the season just from adding the extra time. And I don't know. I just, you know, maybe pacing isn't the right word. I just think that the story just has a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the story, and I'm not sure how they're gonna tie everything together in a way that makes sense, or how they're gonna just kind of get to the end. You know, the authors left themselves a lot of plot hooks. I mean the series is so done. I'm sure fucking anyone who cares enough to even read a synopsis can probably figure out what's going on with the story, but like, I'm an anime only casual right now, and I just don't. I guess I just don't have faith that with all these plot hooks, all these, you know, disparate storylines, I just don't see them like tying them together. Because so far they all seem to only resolve themselves through Subaru, and it would be like stupid tedious for him to go through everything unless it's just like the next season is everyone for the selection committee is like thrown into like a closed room with a murder mystery, and then a full 24 episode season after that, he fucking solves it. Everyone loves him and agrees that Amelia should be queen, and then the next season is like the saving the world from ending, because apparently there's a plot in the background going on about that, whatever that fucking door was. So yeah, I mean, it's easy to write a good story, a good opening, but finishing it is the difficult part. And so I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.